Yo, I'm resuming this transmission because the brother, vibrating high to the point where the portals of wisdom, you know what I'm saying, that a brother have entered. I'm just articulating actual fact reality that work in service of our liberation in all areas of people activity. You know what I'm saying? For instance, say for instance, we feeling good about ourselves. We letting our light shine. We being practitioners of information that we don't ascertain, you know what I'm saying, through the experiences that we have lived in real life that cause us to end up being a testimony. You know what I'm saying? For others to see that they can make it through their hardships or whatever hard times that may befall them. You know what I'm saying? Yet, you know what I'm saying? Check this out, right? Come what may, for the contentment of my mind is not going to be disturbed by some kind of unseen disagreeable forces that want to try to manipulate the airwaves, where I don't have a positive impact on the souls of the people who listen to this particular transmission that I'm doing right now. Because, we are fighting, right? An everyday battle against the technology of the devil. I'm gonna make it plain. Here it is. We are gods, right? But you have certain forces that want to belittle you to where it takes you outside of the spiritual construct of our ancestral domination regarding the information wars, the psychological warfare, the spiritual warfare that's going on, you know what I'm saying, on a day-to-day basis, citywide to the international arena of power, right? Check this out, right? Positive energy activates elevation, you know what I'm saying, to a lot of us, you know what I'm saying, who was striving for perfection, when we remembering, you know what I'm saying, the important knowledge that is going to be required for us to be able to stay sustained in this hostile environment of lies, confusion, hatred, evil, and technology. You know what I'm saying? So as far as say for instance, right? Let me see how deep the rabbit hole goes. The rabbit hole is indeed deep into the dismal crypts of an underworld to where you can connect with other chambers of knowledge, you know what I'm saying, that seems to never end, connected with certain realities that they never taught us in school on the surface. How deep the iceberg go. You know what I'm saying? Where they say, oh, I'm just scratching the tip of the iceberg. That's what's wrong with a lot of people. They surface individuals instead of being inquisitive to see what's beneath the surface of the tip of the iceberg. We behind the tip of the iceberg. We at the bottom of the ocean floor, to the heights of the omniverse. So as far as us as individuals, right, who was witnessing political trickery that's being played on the minds of the people on a day-to-day basis, how do we keep up with these intelligence community, political administrations, agenda and what they doing and how it will affect our lives? We have to take action and be involved with the reality of these political affairs, because after all, we do have rights and civil rights gains where we can engage and challenge certain things that don't mean us well regarding the wellness plans for our race. or the well-being of our individual selves to the point where we can be endangering our lives being around foods and foolishness. But here it is, right? We got so-called leadership that's blind leadership, where you got the blind leading the blind, and they all fall into the ditch. Who gonna help them out the ditch? Us with the illuminated mentalities of light. You know what I'm saying? But who wanna listen to you? You just an ordinary individual who was everyday people, who was unimportant. But it's where you're wrong. Yeah, everyday people is important. Power is to the people, but it's about what you're doing with your time when it comes to you. When it comes to you, cultivating your mind with revolutionary information, where your thoughts is in sync with complete constructive change for the better with these cosmic shifts that's taking place, these dimensional shifts that's taking place, to the point where we are being in tune with the proper alignments regarding what time it really is for us as a people, without us being polarized into the past, not making no kind of progress in the present. You know what I'm saying? Much love to Pana Bab Yanun, who is on the scene, who have presented the facts to the people. But what fools these mortals be? Free Dr. Malachi Z. York. Let me tell y'all something. Life is an intelligent reality that's connected with divine mind power of the Creator. So here it is, you know what I'm saying? We are subjected to all kind of false teachings, us as a people, right? Designed by certain lying so-called scholars who wanted to trigger confusion in our minds so we would not know our past, to the point where our minds have been erased. But due to our minds being erased, we have forgotten so much stuff, to the point our people still have deep episodes of amnesia. You know what I'm saying? Our people, a lot of our people has been conditioned to be forgetful. Like, say for instance, we be seeing a series of events that take place through the media regarding school shootings, police brutality cases, robbery cases, smash and grab, men and women doing the smash and grabs in certain jewelry stores. We hearing about unnecessary shootings in black communities. We hearing about poisons and negative things happening in the white communities. Even Chinese people committing Chinese on Chinese crime. Even we seeing all kind of things happening where you got other human beings biting people in the face, losing their mind because of them being out of their right mind. You know what I'm saying? You got the Trump administration unnecessarily doing all of this abnormal psychology that has a certain shock value where it's affecting people in a way leaving the people shocked. Where they can't believe, you know what I'm saying, in 2025 and beyond, we have these certain racist circles making certain decisions and calling certain shots that's ill affecting the American people, to the point where people is feeling distraught and miserable as a result of what somebody somebody else has done to them as a result of their decision resulting from their abuse of power. Look how people treat people nowadays. You know what I'm saying? America is a cage of every foul spirit and unclean and hateful bird. People contaminated, you know what I'm saying, with all kind of negative attitudes toward individuals. You know what I'm saying? In an environment to where it's like, you know what? We need to have a sense of, we need relief from this. You know what I'm saying? We need serious relief. You know what I'm saying? From the debauchery. You know what I'm saying? Here it is. You have spiritual teachings that's designed to elevate our minds to where, you know, we turn out to be individuals who is in tune, who are to be in tune with a positive social order of things. You know what I'm saying? As far as for us who being spiritually mature, right? Spiritually mature. Spiritually mature to the point where we have enough light or intellect to make sense of things, or a person listen and be like, you know what? I can rock with what you saying, bro. You making sense. I'm following what you saying. I ain't gonna hate on you. I'm gonna take heed to what you're talking about because it can help me out. You open my eyes. You know what I'm saying? The term each one teach one, right? Somebody taught me certain things that opened my eyes. So by me opening my eyes, right, I'm serious about wake up knowledge, right? I'm serious about changing for the better. I'm serious about opening my eyes so I can be counted amongst the righteous. You know what I'm saying? So being counted amongst the righteous has positive benefits. You know what I'm saying? And may, you know, a lot of our women, black women in particular, open your minds up and quit being petty out here and connect to the positive frequency of bringing balance to the social order and equation of things to where we don't have all this static electricity going on, creating a barrier that get in between the frequency of attraction between us, regardless going to higher levels in consciousness as the divine masculine and the divine feminine in society. You know what I'm saying? So, for instance, it's too much wisdom to be ascertained through our inquisitiveness to find out what the wisdom is all about, so we can be transformed through the renewing of our mindsets, the mentalities of our minds. You know what I'm saying? So as far as the great, what you call it, the hidden agendas to hide the truth from us, when there is no more secrets. Thanks to the opening of the 7th seal. Let's get the knowledge. You ain't gotta tell me. I've been connected to the opening of the 7th seal, fortunately, for a long time. And as a result of me drinking from that particular fountain of truth, you know what I'm saying, my unquenchable thirst for knowledge is quenched to a degree to where still I want to know more. Because it's good for my mental health. It's good for my spiritual health. Like it will be good for your mental health and good for your spiritual health. You know what I'm saying? the Most High created and conditioned us to be resilient and strong. Why y'all think so much dirt be try to get thrown on us, where you have certain social forces, right? Or societal forces, you know what I'm saying, of a certain group think, to where they project misnomers on us that don't fit the description of who we are, but yet a lot of us embody certain stereotypes that cause our people to live certain lives. You know what I'm saying? To the point where people stereotype to where they don't value knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and let alone them having overstanding, and outerstanding. Trying to use big words, this, that, and the third. I don't have hippopotamus sesquipedaliophobia. That big word there means the fear of big words. I don't have that. I use big words because they are a reality. And what about the scientific terminologies of words? Look, it's up to us to do our due diligence to find out what's what regarding the realities of this life, that we need to find out that it's going to work in service of us. You know what I'm saying? There is a Holy Spirit and there is an unholy spirit. You know what I'm saying? There are clean spirits and there are unclean spirits. I like to identify with the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of truth, where we will be led into all truth through the Spirit of truth. But what do you know? How do you know what to look for? By a lot of y'all being blinded by black magic. Not the real black magic of the Melanin people with the sun, but the black magic of the what's considered certain entities of the left-hand path. You know what I'm saying? Here it is. I'm communicating a positive message, you know what I'm saying, to my viewers or whoever may hear this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it'd be cool. I mean, what does people support nowadays? It's getting to the point where I like to, you know what? I like to look at the positive side of things, to where I like to be optimistic in mind, to where it's like I like to look for the good in people. You know what I'm saying? But due to the society being organized a certain way, you know what I'm saying? They look at the bad in people, to where you guilty before proven innocent. They don't even be knowing people. You know what I'm saying? So, regarding the fairness and equity, you know what I'm saying, dealing with how to give a person credit to where credit is really due. You know what I'm saying? Much love to that particular ideology and perspective, where you give a person they kudos for being a good quality individual. You know what I'm saying? Out here doing positive works. You judge a tree by the fruit it bears, yes. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, you know what I'm saying? Look, you gotta stay guarded, you know what I'm saying, against being ambushed, you know what I'm saying, by the evil plans of the certain forces that got you on their mind for no good reasons, maybe to want to see you stumble and fall for no reason. It's crazy. It's that crazy, you know what I'm saying? You got people who thinking about you when they should be thinking about themselves and wonder why you advance or wonder why I'm advancing, why they not advancing, because they in the shadow somewhere, you know what I'm saying, with you and me, us who is considered like light workers, chosen one star seeds, or knowledgeable science kicking brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying, to where, you know, we out here advancing, you know what I'm saying, being in tune with what time it really is on the planet, dealing with the higher consciousness, you know what I'm saying, working with crystal magic, working with improving our health, drinking positive drinks with herbs and things of this particular nature, and burning spiritual scents because we into aromatherapy, burning sage for spiritual purposes, you know what I'm saying, where our environment is have positive spiritual ethers in it and things of this nature, you know what I'm saying, that is compatible with our chakra system, you know, as far as us raising our vibrations, working on ourselves to be a spiritual force in this world to help raise the vibrations of the planet. You know what I'm saying? With that said, that takes me here. Hold on. I found what I was looking for, right? Now, regarding this particular line of logic, right? Going into a perspective of terminologies on a spiritual level where we in our right spiritual frequencies takes me here, right? Regarding us being us being in tune with our true frequencies of life that gives us life and not drains us of our life force. You know what I'm saying? Our spiritual forces that keep us energized and in tune with the proper energy signatures of our ancestors, right? For instance, right? This is a particular question by the master teacher, right? How do the Tamaru'at get away with his story? Or say like so-called white scholars and historians, right? His story. Not outside of the story about the realities of life, but his story, which we know have been full of lies, right? Only to be confronted with the reality of the truth through us, right? Answer. The Tamaru race has taken full advantage of antiquity by hiding facts so that the lapse of time would seal them, or hide or seal the facts away from our eyes, right? Or consciousness, right? Because of course, no one living now lived at that time except in the person of your ancestors who have been dead or died centuries ago. He hides them right in the library or where their lives are buried. Even if someone would put the body of Jesus on public view after 2,000 years and call it Jesus or someone else well known at that time, by what means after so many years would anyone prove or disprove it? Now, for instance, right, I really would like to go to it regarding certain figures of antiquity or ancient history or history, right? When it comes to our Kemetic ancestors, we can see the documentation of their existence. You know what I'm saying? But where's the proof and confirmation and evidence of the existence of certain figures that they say existed at certain times in history where there isn't any real documentation of these particular famous celebrities or figures that's supposed to have been sages of certain eras of time regarding the learned men and women on the planet, right? For instance, the point is, you, Nuwapian, black people have been under the spell of their religion for far too long with their white God and white prophecy, white apostle and white angels. We got to give it back. Say for instance, if a particular criminal come to try to give me some ill-gotten gain that belonged to another innocent person who worked hard for their property, and yet the criminal steal it and try to give it to me, I don't want it. I don't want that hot stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's considered stolen goods to connect me with some kind of negative situation that was perpetrated by the criminal thief who committed theft against the innocent person. I don't have nothing to do with that. So I stay free, clear, and clean from that, where I'm not connected to any kind of karma of that situation. You know what I'm saying? So we have to give back the contaminated teachings that is not designed to have an authentic relationship with us, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? For us to live out as a culture, hell no. I don't want none of the falsehood. Like when the Holy Quran was like, we hurl the truth and falsehood where it knocks out its brains. You know what I'm saying? The facts, right? white apostles and white angels, right? Give it back, right? It was all a white lie. The first great white lie was told to you by your black parents when they told you to write a letter to a white man asking for something for nothing that was Santa Claus. This is that great white hope, white magic that have been forced upon us as a people for centuries. Do y'all know how long centuries is? Centuries is 100 years. A century is 100 years. Now, when you look at that in a plurality sense, meaning more than one, hundreds of years of brainwashing, hundreds of years. Did y'all getting this? Hundreds of years. And we just came out of our people just came out of the chattel slavery and them other restricting living condition and political inequality situations since the 60s. Pretty much. fighting battles still to this very day that the Trump administration trying to set us back in as a result of them keeping their racist traditions alive, which is why we want to separate from this hate mongering. So we just stand out the way of the madness, seeing what's going on, and letting the world see these people, where these people's hearts really at. They showing their true colors. You know what I'm saying? We not racist. We not the problem. They have some kind of racist hang-ups and guilt complexes amongst their own constituents and guilty parties that have a history of their crimes against the humanity of the non-white people on the planet. This thing can go so deep to the point where there is no end to it. You know what I'm saying? In the continuation of life. You know what I'm saying? Right now today, we got to come up with remedies and solutions to break free from the status quo of the effects of the white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? So here it is. The black man and woman has to be completely re-educated, like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad brought in solutions with the message to the black man, the theology of time. I say it has arrived. You know what I'm saying? And other free-thinking thought leader individuals who came with solutions for us to take certain knowledge into consideration to reconnect us with the right way of seeing things. Then we have on the scene partner known Dr. Malachi York to take things to an even higher level. Ain't no excuse. It's either y'all just want to be dumb out here, which is what I think is the problem. Y'all want to be stupid. Y'all want to be dumb. You know what I'm saying? Or y'all just don't want to be responsible for adopting the knowledge that's here to transform our psychological reality, spiritual reality, and physical and political reality, and economic reality, and social reality, to where we see ourselves at the top of civilization and not at the bottom, where certain forces want to keep us as a result of us being confused in the mind, constantly mentally miserable, distraught, sad, petty. You know what I'm saying? Giving attention to petty things, where the petty-minded of us engage in petty arguments, petty involvements, petty crimes. You know what I'm saying? Caught up in a prison industrial complex, on some kind of tethers, on some kind of parole, on some kind of probation, having a hard time holding on jobs, not being entrepreneurs and innovators to come up with certain resourceful solutions to meet the needs of people in the world or in communities, to where we can make money from our own ideas and be successful at doing it as a result of believing in ourselves and taking action and connecting with the legal work that's required to help protect the copyright materials. You know what I'm saying? But these things are being done, and they can be done. It's just a matter of us being proactive and doing certain things to change our reality for the better. And back to this, right? Now, this Okay, wait a minute. Now, this is the great white hope, white magic that has been forced upon us as a people for centuries. If your own black parents will teach you this lie, then anyone else will lie to you. They help enforce white magic. Now, is this magic harmless to us, or is this white magic harmful? This white magic actually has been harmful because they erased our past and gaslighted us under certain deep hypnotic spells to the point where our people have been reconditioned as a result of being possessed individuals that is literally out of their minds. So certain white societal norms that have been pre-configured or prefabricated for us to be subjected to as a result of as those things being mechanisms of social control. Notice this. This is what we're dealing with in reality. We are under the influence of certain social controls that have been designed by certain forces for us to abide by. But yet, we live in an era of time where our freedom of speech is being more activated with information that's beyond the programming that have been given to us. So, by us thinking along the sciences of higher consciousness, right, we're tapping into certain linguistic terminologies that is connected with powerful information. Let me get this other read material. Hold on. Alright, I got it. This goes on to read, right? The spell has not only clouded your thinking, but it also has blocked you from your own liberation and freedom. You are unable to see the mistakes in the so-called Holy Scriptures. You are unable to see the mistakes in the so-called Holy Scriptures you believe in, and you actually allow your lives to be governed by books of the dead, people, or books of ghosts. What so many of you call Holy Scriptures, such as the Torah, the Quran, Hadith, and Talmud. In these same Holy Scriptures, people actually kill other people because I believe something different than you. Because of different beliefs. You have people out here killing each other because of different beliefs. And a higher power that's supposed to be good. So if you have different beliefs, but the God you believe in is a good creator, then shouldn't you have something in common by believing in a good creator, though your culture is different, when all actuality, the higher power that you believe in, you know what I'm saying, is good? What sense does that make? You know what I'm saying? Can't we see that something is not right when it comes to human beings doing certain types of thinking where they're not really thinking because they blinded by beliefs that lack confirmation? Now watch this, right? Okay. You are unable to see the mistakes so-called holy scriptures you believe in, and you actually allow your lives to be governed by books of the dead, people, or books of ghosts. What so many of you call holy scriptures, such as the Torah, Quran, Hadiths, and Talmud, in these same holy scriptures, people actually kill each other, kill other people because I believe something different than you. The word believe, right, in part is part of the problem. The word believe. Now, when it comes to the social science of the word believe, all these communities that make up the population of the United States, is they taking into consideration to want to make the right psychological identification of these words and meanings, you know what I'm saying, to grasp a better understanding on how to think and cohabit on a positive level with the other members of the human family, right? For instance, right, the word believe is part of the problem. To believe in something is to accept something without proof. Without proof. Where's the proof of what everybody believing in? Where's your evidence? Where's your proof? Show us the evidence. Show us the proof. And when we get into the science of our Kemetic ancestors, according to historical records, right? According to historical records, the civilization of our Kemetic ancestors were real people on the African continent that knew who the Most High was, that other cultures came to get educated by so they can know who the Creator was. So in light of them being educated, in light of who the Creator really was, how did we still end up getting so many conflicts about who God is? Think about it. When our racial identity as the Nubians, our mentality based on the spiritual science of our true spiritual science enable us to balance things out through right knowledge and correct information, which is the equalizer, dealing with subject matters of person, places, and things, even subject matters that's beyond person, places, and things regarding being non-ether beings. For instance, right? This goes on to read. To believe in something is to act something without proof. There was a time when a Nubian man's word was his bond. But that was a time in ancient Tamaray, Egypt. A time when there was no wars. There was a natural harmony where people work together naturally because of common interests. However, it has been a long time since the usurpation or unlawful seizure of the throne of Tamaray, Egypt, and the trickery of the Tamahu man was put upon the Nubian or blacks. However, now this is a thing of the past. You will regain we will regain our right minds today. We will regain our 9 mind. 9 to the 9th power of 9. By us representing, by us being the embodiment of the original creative forces of the universe. The makers, the owners, the creams of the planet Earth, gods and goddesses of the universe, the multiverse, the omniverse. Now, the master teacher go into detail about these particular insights from the spiritual domain of Pa-Nazdiru, by us being the Nagaru, being in tune with these particular kind of etheric frequencies, being connected with the Etherians, the overseers, right? For instance, the term of this scroll, breaking the spell off of blacks who've been mentally conditioned a certain way for us to not have a certain consciousness of mind as a result of being reconstructed mentally with a falsified consciousness rooted in misinformation. Misinformation in a hostile political climate who by design from racist instigations to produce a certain mentality in the so-called Negro. For instance, right? I cannot stress to you enough, do not accept, do not believe anything as true if it has not been proven to you behind a shadow of a doubt. It is time for the minds of the sleeping gods, the black God man and God woman, to awaken. Say for instance, you got like certain political forces want to demonize the word woke. They don't want you to be woke. They want you to remain asleep. It goes to show you their mentality. How they work in service of the white magicians who want to consolidate a certain white supremacy power, but themselves to perpetuate a certain societal status quo against non-white people. But those days are over with. Here it is. We are being, for instance, well-cultured individuals who have an appreciation for real culture of humanity. You know what I'm saying? Yet, you know what I'm saying, they maintain a certain tradition of not having respect for higher cultures that's beyond the racism. You see what I'm saying? Watch this, right? It is time for the minds of the sleeping gods and black God man and black God woman to be awakened. Break the spell of a man Leviathan. Break the spell of sleep that has prevented you from taking your rightful place as rulers and creators of this planet. Now think about the beginning think about the beginning, right? Hold on. They take me somewhere else. Hold on. I'm back. I got what I was looking for. Now think about the beginning of the science of creation. Where humanity started with us as Nubian black people. Right? Break the spell of sleep that has prevented you from taking your rightful place as rulers and creators of the planet. So as far as us being good stewards of the planet, right? Good tillers of the land, for all of these millenniums, all of a sudden we've been written out of history where we haven't contributed nothing to the civilizations of the world. You know that's a conspiracy. You know that's a big lie. So with the truth being made known, the type of accomplishments that our ancestors have accomplished, in addition to fast forward that to being here in the United States with the black inventions that a lot of people was benefiting from here in the United States of America, invented by our people, black inventions that they wanted to take credit for, to try to steal the credit for. When we are the originators of these certain inventions that make life more better and comfortable regarding how we live in contemporarily today with the technologies, telecommunications, and things of this particular nature. You know what I'm saying? So this goes on to read, right, regarding us being rulers and creators of this planet, or as one great man said, maker, owners, cream of the planet Earth, gods of the universe. That great man being the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, baby. Please believe it. Like going back to the beginning. This scroll here by the master teacher, the beginning. Ask certain questions. You know what I'm saying? That make you say, yeah. Because due to certain minor reasons of our master teacher, but us who be in tune or is in tune, or we know how he think, you know what I'm saying? We know what to do in terms of approaching things a certain way mentally. Becoming the mentalist we're supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Regarding our understanding that the all is mental. So harnessing the positive mental frequencies where we connect with the proper tones, frequencies, vibrations that is connected with certain molecules and liquids of our body. Through the science of healing, you know what I'm saying, we want those particular energies, you know what I'm saying, to be generated in a healthy way. You know what I'm saying? Now, for instance, right? The sun cycle is in. Reclaim what has always been yours. Find your way home to Tamaray Eagle, home to your descendants. Ra, Asaru, Sutu, Het Haru, Geb, Nat, Aset, Nep, Tut, Teflut, and Shu, who are your spiritual and etheric parents. Some of them are seen below regarding our etheric parents, right? Pabnet Turat, Neterat, the supreme beings of ancient Tamaray, Egypt, our etheric parents, right? Being in tune with our true spiritual culture and science is where it's that is a reflection of who we are before we have been rearranged as a result of being in a controlled environment to try to make us to counter the intelligence of our original intelligent thought orientation of our liberated mindset being in tune with natural nature. Now, for instance, us being nine ether beings will guide you along the path once you have planted your feet firm, baby. Once we have planted our feet firm, you know what I'm saying? We will be rightly guided through the proper supreme wisdom. The proper supreme mathematics that was get us into having the vision of being able to see into the spirit world, dealing with other dimensions of reality. Quantum physics, the quantum realm. For instance, right, you will find love of self and kind in the ancient Egyptian order, a solution to the spell. Once you have committed yourself to love of self and kind, right, half the battle is won. You know what I'm saying? See, being in a winning mindset as a result of the proper knowledge that we have, most indeed through our actions and thought intentions for us to ponder on these things which are pure, you know what I'm saying? We win. Right. Take the step through the pylons, never turning back, only through Pa-Seket, the pylons. Take that step through the pylons, never turning back, only through progressing forward can you make that complete cycle of life and move on through another level. The ancient Egyptian order can take you to the next level where you will return to your right state of mind again. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us, accept your own and be yourself. There isn't nothing racist about that. That's connecting myself to my greatness. Ain't no such thing as reverse racism because of me seeing the world through the lenses of reality. You know what I'm saying? The reality of the pragmatic, real, historical documentation of the things that actually happen on the planet, like certain information that can be ascertained, like through the Library of Congress, documented records. You know what I'm saying? Open up the books in the archives of the Vatican. That's what 53 miles of hidden books. You know what I'm saying? Then the books they call the Librorum Prohibitorum, the forbidden books of the Vatican that they identify as Librorum Prohibitorum, forbidden books. Why is they forbidden? You know what I'm saying? A lot of these ancient documents and reading materials is accessible. And in fact, like the master teacher said, they didn't get thought they like got certain information, right? But it's a certain knowledge that's well kept sacred in the hands of our ancestors in Africa, in Sudan, in special places that have conserved certain knowledge that's connected to the star beings and things of this nature, right? Like, for instance, right? Okay, let's go here. The master teacher bringing this to our awareness. He said, I asked the reformer for Nubians, for us. The reformer who came to renew our history. Through him, Panabab Yanun, he did it. It's a matter of us doing our due diligence to wake up and see, okay, what's what, who's who, what, when, where, how, why, etc. Things are the way that they are. Why? I asked the reformer for Nubians. Black people have the power to foretell and retrace time and events. The master teacher has that power to foretell and retrace time and events. Like he say, when you look at me, you can see something distant in my eyes. Follow the Lamb wherever he goes. In consciousness and spirituality. You know what I'm saying? Against the wickedness of this world. By us being connected to a better world. Like when they say, oh, there's gotta be a better place than this. We will get there. We will get to that better place, being connected to it in our consciousness. Through having an understanding that this is the alignment time through our ancient Egyptian order. That we bring this particular order to the environment. Where the souls we come in contact with is supposed to have, where we're supposed to have a positive impact on the mind and souls of the people we come in contact with through this particular superior knowledge that we live by spiritually. Right? For instance, right? Now relate the true story, our story, the story of ancient Tamaray Egypt, Paneteru, Supreme Beings, Nuwapik, the language, Tamaray, the rebirth of your ancient land and culture, and you must be willing to take the journey back to go to your descendants and ancestors who are waiting to help you awaken from the spell of sleep. Look at a lot of our people in society. They sleeping. You have a conversation with them about these higher perspectives of learning. They don't know. So when it comes to like the term each one teach one, that's what we have to do. Drop seeds of consciousness in their mind where the seed will grow in their mind for them to catch on and wake up to seeing these realities that are real, right? You can only awaken with the love of self and kind, which can happen only after you remember and accept who you are and where you come from. As As mentioned before, the forces of that ether will open up to you. They are what grew you. Your past is real, recognized by all cultures, and is engraved in and carved in stone. Now, with that said, right, that takes me somewhere else. Hold on. And back to what I was speaking on, right? In regard to ancient records of our ancestors, right? For instance, our past is real, recognized by all cultures, and is engraved and carved in stone. The Sphinx, which originally had wings, was also constructed 12,500 years ago and dates as far back as 10,500 BC. That means you were here long before the scientists have dated as the age of Ptah, the planet Earth, which is estimated to be no more than 6,000 years old. The planet Earth is way older than 6,000 years old. Who is making these particular dates and ages and numbers up? This is because 6,000 years was all the time Apophis was given to rule, and is the date of their creation or origin. Now, this 6,000 years is the origin date of a certain group of people who is the manifestation of the devil's civilization, and the manifestation of the flesh that's identified in the book of Leviticus in the Bible, where for us as sincere seekers of the truth who will research certain things would search the scriptures to figure out and identify who is who on the planet Earth, where we won't be making mistakes in dealing with people. You know what I'm saying? Because when we know who's who on the planet Earth, it will enable us to have an informed mentality on how to socialize amongst the populations of the Earth. Now, who is who? Regarding the people we deal with on a daily basis, even our own people. Even when the master teacher wrote the book, Are There Black Devils? And the documentation of the documentary he did regarding, we see you too, Black Devil. You know, look, all with how that term goes, the skin folk and all people who got the color of our skin folk and kin folks. You know what I'm saying? Which is a reality. The seeds of the evil one regarding, like when they say the iniquities of the Amorites is not yet full. There's still wickedness running rapid in the earth that has to be brought to a stop. So in this modern info wars and these modern days of spiritual warfare that we are living in, we are to have a mind to be equipped with certain spiritual weapons that nullify certain ritualistic activities of the things, the ritualistic activities that certain opposing forces that may try to get you tripped up into as a result of you slipping. You know what I'm saying? We can't be slipping nowadays. Our feet have to be planted firmly through the knowledge that we know to be true, to protect ourselves with against the unclean things of this world. You know what I'm saying? Back to these ancient records though, right? The Sphinx is one of those pieces of evidence of how great you as Nuwaubians are. You Nuwaubian blacks are. This structure has been standing for 12,500 years, withstanding all forces of erosion of nature and the attacks of foreign invaders with their cannonballs, only losing her wings. Yes, her wings. A woman. The Sphinx Pah-Wati had the face of a Uruk female ruler. Many people are under the false impression that the face of the Sphinx is that of the Pharaoh Khufu, because he was given the credit for its completion as well as the completion of the Great Pyramid of Giza. Pa-Nefertiti Khufu, the Pharaoh Cheops, also called Sikrat, was the king of northern and northeast Africa, Western Asia. It was Khufu Cheops who lifted the immigration ban and allowed the first group of Pa-Hekakasus or Canaanites mentioned in the Bible, Genesis 28:1-3, Tamahu from Europe and Grooves. What's that? Greek Jews from Greece to reach Africa and Asia. This band was called the Rope, which is where the word Europe come from, Europe. And all knew not to pass that barrier. The immigration ban had a restriction that said no one without dark hair or dark eyes were allowed to enter Tamaray, Egypt. The Tamahu race were sealed in Europe by anti-immigration laws for 1,000 years. Revelations 22. They were there from the time Tamahu albino seed were sent from the Asian islands to Europe until the time of Pa-Nefertiti Khufu, the Pharaoh Cheops, which is why Masonic groups have the symbol of this Egyptian pharaoh who the doors of Tamaray, Egypt to them. Pa-Tamahu race, after being banned for so long, the Tamahu walks around in America and other countries with a self-confidence as if he or they are home. Right? Stop and think. He does not belong to America. It is not his homeland. His homeland is Europe. America is not Europe yet. He has Jew Nuwaubians accepting all he does here as if it's his. It's not. Part of his spell is he walks around convincing people that what he does is right. Now, think about this. We don't have to feel like things that we want to enforce is wrong when it comes to our indigenous status regarding our inalienable rights as indigenous people. That can go both ways. So, regarding the common ground of having respect for one another, you know what I'm saying? We gotta have some kind of peaceful coexistence to go on between us. Somebody gotta bring the conscious thoughts to the table and say, look, how is we gonna ameliorate our social relationships where we all deal with equity and equality? You know what I'm saying? I am bringing forth the thought to the public. You know what I'm saying? Let's come up with solutions to where we all take steps regarding the human family to where we come up with solutions where we all deal with equity and equality, which would minimize the misery and suffering, you know what I'm saying, where we are to coexist amongst one another. We gotta think big as humanity, beyond the isms. Now, for instance, this is pointing to the mentality of these certain Europeans. He comes into other people's countries, right? Let's start here with that. Okay. Part of his spell is he walks around convincing people that what he does is right. He comes into other people's countries, starts making laws to punish you if you break the law, but remember, you are again in your country where we have laws that Europeans have to abide by as well. Now remember the peace and friendship treaties. We got to have a common respect here regarding the laws that we live by in society. Like, for instance, we are not the same. We are different. Our culture is different from other people's culture. So that's why you have cultural recognitions where we respect the rights and laws and cultural norms of different cultures to where it don't conflict with other people's cultures because they have a right, a God-given right, birthright for their freedom of expression regarding their cultural traditions. That I don't have no problem with people doing. So why do they feel they have to impose what they trying to do on other people's cultures when that is overarching and lapping into something that caused disruption? You know what I'm saying? We're here to bring harmony amongst one another. And these particular people supposed to be in certain circles of knowledge to where they connect with certain secret societies who's supposed to have this kind of mature spiritual knowledge. Something ain't right here. You know what I'm saying? But this goes on to read, right? He starts wars and becomes the law, the judges, the attorneys, etc. in a country that is not his. This country belongs to the indigenous natives who are dark-skinned, woolly-haired beings that inhabited what is now called America long before the invasion of the Hekakasuts, the Hyksos Canaanites. And they are not to be mistaken for the American Indians. light-skinned, straight-haired Indians that are claiming to be Native Americans. They are two separate groups. The dark-skinned and woolly-haired Native Americans who were first, and their children who came from the Native Americans mixing with the Chinese, right? Mixing with the Chinese, East Indian, and Eskimos to give you your American Indian of today. So the trick is to make you think you are wrong for doing your own thing. We is not wrong for doing our own thing. We is just representing our freedom. See how people minds be messed up out here where they be creating unnecessary problems for themselves and others. This stuff has to be straightened out. To think is a gift. That's why we're not supposed to abuse it or underuse it. We have to reason how well, you know what I'm saying, that's structured around the logistics of mental health. Sound right reasoning. So the trick is to make you think that you are wrong, and we not. Once again, how they be thinking these certain forces are right, 6 ether forces. So the trick is to make you think you are wrong for doing your own thing in your country, your own country, as if this country belongs to him. It doesn't. It belongs to you and I, us indigenous, Nubian, Nuwapian, Native Americans, woolly-haired beings who are indigenous to the United States with global connections. We indigenous all over this planet. You know what I'm saying? So with that said, positive energy activate constant elevation. You know what I'm saying? Right knowledge is the way. And we accept our own and be ourselves. And much love to our leaders that's out here doing the best they can to ensure, you know, that our future is politically protected. In addition to a lot of the YNs out here, the YNs that's waking up and catching on, because they are the future as well, in addition to their seeds, you know what I'm saying, that will have to connect with the enlightening knowledge on how to keep our race intact through thinking properly. This is an ongoing cycle of generational awareness. Peace and love.